And then I realized, if we are not happy at work, how can we be happy at life? So it's a necessity that people be happy at work in order to find the happiness in life at all.
Wow. Wow. That's a very interesting way to look at it. All right. You're saying that it's important for people to be happy at work, to be happy in life. And it could also go the other way because people carry whatever energy they have from their personal life to work.
Yeah.
All right. There are people
Yes.
that come to work feeling sad. And guess what? They're going to make other people feel sad too as a result of that.
Yeah, so it's a life, people start calling about like life work balance, when they are keeping the life separate and work separate. But we need the life and work integration, because your life outside of the work impacts your work, and your work impacts your life as well. If you are miserable throughout the day and not happy at work, at the end of the day when you go home, you will be frustrated, and then turn on your TV and
Yep.
not able to spend meaningful time with your child or spouse.
Good, good. Thank you so much. And in your book here that you co-authored with a couple of people, to support what you just said, there was a statement there: how you do something is how you do everything.
Yes, definitely. And that's one of the coach, I don't remember his or her name, but as you said rightly, right? If we are showing up energetic, enthusiastic, motivated at work, you will be showing up same way in your personal life as well. And when you are showing up personal life motivated, energetic, joyful, bliss, then you will bringing that to work as well. So yeah, the way we show up one place or one time, we show up similar way in other places as well.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So for you, happiness means being enthusiastic, energetic, and things like that. Are those the words that you think shows happiness?
So there are many aspects, but ultimately, like you find the joy in difficult time and in the good time as well. You are that's the ideal state, right? You don't, like, if someone is angry on you, of course we get upset, but then immediately you try to come back as soon as possible, which is Tony Robbins says we need to come back into our beautiful state of mind. How long we stay in the beautiful state of mind, it's not about like we will not have problem, we will not have challenges, it's not
Mhm.
we will not cry at work. Yeah, we might cry at work as well, or outside of the work, but it's basically how we bounce back soon, especially in our mindset, right? Often sometimes people, when they're angry or upset, they keep that energy for days, for months. And sometimes if you are in those unfortunately depression or bad states, we go through the months and months without basically coming out of that state, right? So
Mhm.
either you can be in a beautiful state or suffering state.
Mhm.
So the sooner we move from suffering state to the beautiful state and stay as long as more in the beautiful state, that's what I call it happiness. Everyone has their own definition, but
Mhm.
that's I have explored that might be the right definition for me, and for many people, to stay in the beautiful state of mind as much as possible.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. So happiness for you means staying in that beautiful state of mind as long as possible. One of the things you mentioned just now is being happy during the difficult times. And you talk about being able to release the energy. So what would be the advice you give people when maybe they go through homelessness, death in the family, and things like that, and they have some emotions that they are keeping to themselves? How would you recommend that they release such negative energy so that they can move into those beautiful places that you mentioned?
That's the beautiful and very important for all of us to come back to the beautiful state as soon as possible. I'll tell one story. It was 2022, almost 3 years back. Within 6 months, I lost 11 pounds without doing any exercise or without doing dieting. Wouldn't you want to be learn the technique or idea how to lose the weight without without doing anything? Definitely, right? But I would say whatever happened, I don't want anyone to go through that, because that was the most difficult phase of my life. I was going through the mild depression. In fact, even like, I had a mild suicidal thought as well during that time. I was almost fired from my job because I was not able to deliver my work. I used to wake up at 4 o'clock, and then stay in the bed. I didn't feel like getting out of the bed, in spite of I have so much work to do.
Mhm.
So it's that in the state of the energy, it's so difficult when we are in that state. And I was beating up myself more because I was considered by friends and recognized by other people as a very motivated person. I myself, I feel like, how can I do that? So I was more critical on myself. But in case if anyone, you are going through that difficult time, or if your friend or family going through the difficult time, we are human beings. Accept that it's okay to go through that. And in during those moments, there are many things help. The number one things help me, my friends and family. They were the amazing support during that time. That's why I was able to bounce back very soon. I had a sabbatical leave. I made all the bad decisions on professional level and even the personal level, but my family and friends stayed together. So build your network, build your keep in touch with your friends and family, help them whenever you have good time and they need your support. So when you need the support, they will be there. So that's the number one. Second thing, this is something I have learned while attending the Tony Robbins UPW, Unleash the Power Within training that change everything. I would highly recommend that. And in that, I learned one technique, which is called when you are stuck in your mind, you cannot get out of your that state using the mind. You have to use your body, you have to move your body. And what I have learned, I will share that video later on. But you do breathing exercise along with the physical movement. It's called, in ancient language, it's called brastika pranayam, where basically, you just move your hands and then breathe in while moving your hands up, and then forcefully breathe out. You do 3 times 30 sets, which is like it takes only 3 minutes. But why it's so powerful? Because you are now moving your body. When we move our body, we are changing the state of our body, and we are changing the state of our mind. I
Mm.
didn't feel like getting out of the bed, but now at all, whenever I am this situation, I know how to get out of in that in a snap. It just takes 3 to 5 minutes, and you are out of that state right away. And you followed with some great gratitude exercise, and also like, what are the three things, or three goals you might have excited about. So all these exercise, Tony Robbins call it morning priming technique. So
Hmm.
once, I will later on share this video as well for you and anyone else.
Wow, thank you. That's very practical. Very practical. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'll
Yeah,
try that. I'll try that.
definitely,
Because
definitely.
you always have those difficult mornings about, oh, do I really want to go anywhere today?
Yes, it says like, how you start your day. If you're starting your day well, then your day is well, then your week is well, then your month is good, and all of a sudden your year is good. And if you have year is good, and you have more years like that, and then your life is better as well, life is good as well. So owning your morning, don't start with just coffee, right? I drink tea as well, but
Mhm.
not right away in the morning, because it sucks all your that sugar sucks your energy. You need something to energize, and take some 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time you can for yourself in the morning. Own your morning. That is the key.
Wow. The mornings are very important. Thank you for sharing that. So, still in the mood of talking about what can be done in the workplace to improve happiness, to make people happy. Now that we can both agree that happiness is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So, based on that, what would you recommend for people to do in the workplace to be more happier than they are currently, or people that are not even happy at all to be happy? What would you
Yeah.
recommend?
Definitely. Before we jump on, let me little bit more emphasize on why happiness at work is important. We touch little bit, but I will tell you some of the statistics from the book called Happiness at Work. Uh, Jessica has done really amazing. She and her team has done lots of research why happiness pays off. So let's say if you are an employee, when you are happy at work, you will get promoted faster. When you are happy at work, you will earn more money. You will get more support from your supervisor and your colleagues. You will generate better, and you will make more money for yourself and for the company as well. You will be more creative. Not only that, you will achieve your goals faster, receive more appreciation and great reviews from your colleagues and supervisor, and you will be healthier and happier as well. If we talk about the number, the people who are happy, they have 180% more energy. When you have more energy, you will accomplish more. Energy is the most important aspect of our life. At the end of the day, if I don't have energy, I'm not in a mood to tell a bedtime story which can build the character for my son. But if I have energy, I'm going to happily do that, and that will not make me happy, but build his character as well. So that's just one example. 108% more engaged. When you are more engaged, Gallup survey says you get more, companies get more profit, almost 23% more profit, 40% more, 40% better quality,
Mhm.
almost good percentage of number. I'll just tell you the exact statistics. Yes, 23% more profit for the company, 10% more in the customer loyalty, 41% in the better quality, or less defects. 81% employees are less absent when they are more engaged, and 18% in productivity in the sales and other way, and 66% employee well-being. So it's, as I said, right, happiness at work is not a luxury, it's necessary. And that's so important. So now, why, as we covered why, right, how can we be happy at work? So I'll just give you an example, right? um there is some background noise. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Okay. So there is some kind of echo. Are you able to hear the echo?
Yeah, I can't hear anything. I can hear you, but I'm not hearing any echo here.
Okay, then we are good. Okay. So happiness at work, how can one can achieve, right? So there are multiple aspects. And in, again, the Happiness at Work book, Jessica said that there are four capital, right? Most of the companies focus on financial capital, right? How companies can make money. And then also they focus little bit on human capital, how to give them the skills, how to give them the necessary tools, and also whatever needs to be them to get the high financial capital. But then she shared about two more capitals. One is psychological capital, and also social capital. So it starts with psychological capital. Then when you have higher psychological capital, then people build on the social capital. When you have higher psychological social capital, then you have a higher human capital. And when you
Hmm.
have higher human capital, then company has a higher financial capital, right? That makes
Oh
sense.
yeah.
So now practically how one can do that, right? So again, from my experience, what I have learned, first thing I will tell about, be grateful to be happy at work, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes we take jobs granted, right?
Hmm.
When we are working, when we have job, the number one important thing is to be grateful about what we have
mhm,
before we try to achieve further. So it's like we are satisfied with where we are, what we have, with the manager we have. And
mhm,
that experience I have learned from my first job at KFC.
mhm,
After I finished my master's from UK and
mhm.
have a $50,000 of debt, all I got a job in KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Not to develop the software because I was an engineer, but not to develop their software, but the mop the floor,
Oh,
utensils,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
toilets.
Oh.
So that was the at that time it was the toughest period of my life. And one of my friend, he gave me the book called You Can Win from Shiv Khera, and that book changed my life, changed my character and my thought process. And one of the important thing I captured was be grateful. Then I have learned, there are many people who don't have even job. At least I have a job, right? Many people, they don't have a food, right? Currently we see like there are food banks are struggling to provide the bare minimum food to the people. You, me, and all of us, or not most of us people who are even out of job, if you are out of job, still you have at least some shelter, some food availability if you have worked in the past and you are in good situation. So there will be always people who have less than us. So we need to look at them and help them as well as much as we can, but as well as most important, find that gratitude attitude. Be grateful to be happy. That's the first thing. And there are like other tools which is I call GPS for happiness at work.
Mhm.
B is being grateful. P is find the purpose.
Hmm.
Find the purpose in what you do. Yes, almost 10 years back when I was in IT engineer and I was doing my IT business, I wanted to become a professional speaker.
Yeah.
So I lost my purpose with what I was doing in the IT. But then with the coaching and right guidance, I was able to find that while I want to become something else, I want to go somewhere else, I need to find the purpose with what I do because universe has a reason why I am here. God has a reason. It's like, we create our own plan, but God has a master plan, universe has a master plan. So we need to accept that plan and find the purpose in what we do. And in my workshops, I help the employees to go through the step-by-step process how to find the purpose in what we do. So that's a GP. And then S is simple: smile, sincere compliment, and small talk. With
Mhm.
those superpower we have, we can change our culture, and people around us, we can change their culture as well.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. GPS. That's a very sound acronym to have to be able to be happy. So, thank you for sharing that. It was really clear. Uh, One of the things that also happen when you work with people is the expectations that they have of you and the expectations that you have of them. And in the best situation, if it's always when those expectation matches,
True.
and when it doesn't match, when the expectation you have of somebody doesn't match with what you have of them, what do you do? How do you fix that?
Before I share my, I would like to learn from you. What's your thought? What you have from your experience? How did you handle that situation? If you don't mind to share.
Oh wow, thank you, thank you for putting me on stuff. So for me, it goes back to communication. That's the easiest way to. I most of the time, I think the reason why that becomes a problem is when the communication is not clear at the beginning. And the reason why communication is not clear could be so many things. Could be cultural, could be the fact that the person communicating is just not interested in communicating very well. It's because there are two differences, right? It could mean that somebody don't know how to communicate clearly. It could also mean that they don't want to communicate clearly. So, so it's multifaceted when it comes to that. So yeah, for me, communication was usually the first way to solve it. but then it might not be communication as the problem. It could be something else. Right.
Very well said. That's the one of the key aspect, communication, right? Communication gap between my expectations and your expectations. Communication gap between my why and your why,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's you have shared so much very well, and that's something I have learned from, again, Tony Robbins. We have invited Tony Robbins enterprise level coaching and training to our employees when I was with VTech Solution. In that, what they have communicated and share, one thing was, when you are when you want something from others, don't focus on your why, focus on their why. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you are focusing on their why, then they will be get more excited, because now you are talking in their language, right? So that is very important. Communicate with why, and most importantly, don't start with your why. Focus on your boss why, your colleague's wife why, then your spouse why, and then also your customers why, right? Because our human being are hardwired. By default, we think about our why. So that can solve lots of challenges. Second thing, this is something I have learned long time back. If I want to be happy, I want to not have expectations from others. It's
Hmm.
very difficult. It's very difficult, and it's not happen often, but I remind myself that I need to keep in check with my expectations. If I don't have any expectations from you, then whatever you are delivering, that's a bonus for me, and I will not be unhappy. I will be happy, doesn't matter. And that's something you can choose, or you can control up to certain level. Of course, we are human being and we are emotional creature, so it's challenging. But the more you practice not having expectations from others, that's the number one way to start your happiness journey and stay on that beautiful state. I'll just give an example, and especially it's very difficult when someone is very close, when someone is your friend, spouse. I have very high expectations from my son. So that's basically I have the most struggle and friction with my son. Power
Mm-hmm.
struggle, challenges, because I expect him to do certain way. And then same, my spouse expect me to have a certain way. And when I am not doing that way, then she will not be happy. If my spouse doesn't do what my expectation is, I will not be happy. So these are the very difficult and important aspects at work. Of course, you don't expect from others, that's the number one. But then remember, you can change that perspective, but you don't expect that other people will not have expectations from you, right?
Oh.
They will have still expectations, even though if you have realized that you don't want to have expectation. So you do your best whatever you can, as per the expectations of others, whatever you can best, right? It's still, no matter whatever you will do, there will be always some higher expectations. So still you try to do your best. And one thing very beautiful I have learned recently, I was watching one movie, just a couple of days back, and in that, uh, one person, it's a little bit like, very spiritual level concept, but I'll still touch on a little bit. So the guy, the guy, the man had a found his government very prestigious job, but he did little bit by bribing someone. So it was someone else turn, but he got the job. So other person didn't get it. But then as the karma, what karma was doing it. So now, and he did it because he wanted to impress and get the, his why his the girlfriend to get marry him.
Mm-hmm.
Before the marriage day, he was stuck in the loop where basically on the 29th, the 30th of the marriage day was not coming at all. So he was stuck in that loop. It was it's like a, in our life, when we do the karma, we stuck in our karma if we are not doing the right way karma, right? So he has to make a choice. Either he has to basically, like, uh, accept his mistakes and allow that person to get his job, because the other person was doing suicide because of very reason, because he was not getting the job or whatever, right? And then if he tell the truth and give up that, then his fiance, she said that if you do that, then you will not have job and I will going to commit suicide. So now he has two difficult choices to make, right?
Hmm.
So how do you make the decision? One thing was morally right things to do by doing the right thing, and then he was stuck in that loop. So same thing, when we face any challenges, at a core level, we know what is the right thing to do. So
Hmm.
do the right thing no matter what. It's very
Hmm.
difficult, but whenever you do the right thing, and then you let the consequences decided by the God, because in your heart you did the right thing. In the same way, in the expectations, you do the right thing, not just because someone has expected, but if it's morally incorrect, morally
Hmm.
not right thing, right? If
Hmm.
your boss has some goal to achieve, and then he say, you lie to your customer or manipulate the customer, it's tricky situation. So you go deeper inside what is the right thing to do, ask what are your core values, and make the decision best possible. And at least you have done the right thing, so at least from your side you will not have regret. So its expectation is very difficult to meet, but then doing the right thing with the right mindset will definitely help, hopefully. And again, I'm not an expert in that area, okay? I face challenges, I fail often. I'm on a path to learning that.
Wow, thank you, thank you. A couple of things there. It's better to have no expectation. People will argue for low expectation, but you're saying no, no. That's something to think about.
Start with low, and eventually you can go to the no expectations.
So you also talked about doing the right thing. You're assuming that people know the right thing to do. That's an assumption. For institutions whereby people don't know what to do, and in this environment, asking is also a big problem. Asking for help is also a big problem. And that will lead to my next question around that. For people who genuinely don't know what to do, don't know the right thing to do, but hey, they have a problem, they don't want to ask. Because in this environment, people who ask questions are the dumb people, right? That's that's the assumption. So how would you help such a person? People who don't know the right thing, but they don't want to ask.
I think number one, most of us, we know at our core what is right thing to do, right? The problem is, more we more we start crossing the boundary of what is the right thing to do, we are going in the wrong direction, right? And once we start crossing the boundary of, okay, yeah, I think, like, it's okay to little bit, manipulate in my text, because and we will come up with some excuses and reasons, right? And then once you cross them, then you are morally out of your boundary, your core values. Now you will say, okay, people does that more than what, more than that, let me, it will be okay. So you are, the more you start doing on the wrong side, you will start deviating from the which is the right path, right?
Mhm.
Same thing when you start doing small step on the right side, right? When you have that core values, and then you will start doing the right thing on the slowly. It doesn't happen like, it's like, okay, I'm going to tell the truth to everyone,
Mhm.
no matter what. No,
Yeah.
if you have been lying a lot, it's not going to happen, and if it happen, your life will be disrupted, right? So at least one step at a time, and you just reflect yourself. That's the number one. Like, you have to go to your core. If you would be, and ask yourself, if my son or daughter at the age of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, what would they make the decision?
Hmm.
Simple question. Because when we are child, we don't take the decision based on the expectations, or based on the materialistic expectations or different expectations. They will mostly do the right thing, because that's how we are born. But then society, media, and different has deviated us. So that's a two things. First, listen to yourself. Second thing, put yourself just most innocent, truthful person, and what they will do. And then, of course, get them right mentor. This is the big identifying the right mentor at your work, outside of the work, and especially you ask the person who doesn't have any stake in it. Because let's say if I have my boss and if he has stake on it, and now I am asking to make the right decision, he will make the decision based on what is the beneficial for the business, and it might not be sometimes right. I will share one story. I met one of the guy, like I met recently. He's a kindness spreader in Ohio. His name is Stuart. He's really amazing. He has been helping almost 3,000 plus schools in USA, where they are introducing different kindness programs to the children, how to be kind, how to, do things with the kind. And he shared one example that one of the employee, he knew what was wrong, right? But then where he was working, his boss or the owner has manipulated him, and he said that, okay, you need to give this instrument to their customer or something. So it was kind of a bribe,
Mhm.
but he basically, he knew something was wrong, but he didn't listen to himself, and he listened to his boss, where his boss has a stake in it,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
then eventually he got caught, and
Huh.
then he got jail, right? So first thing, he knew what he was right. His heart was telling that something is wrong, but he didn't listen. And then whom he listened? His mentor, or maybe at workplace, his boss. He has his stakes. So if you are confused what decision to make, you are not sure what is right, then find the coach or mentor who might not have stake on it. Because if someone has stake, then it might not be the more right decision. That's as per me.
Good, good. Thank you for sharing that. And in your book, you co-authored with a couple of others here. There's a couple of quotes that I really like there. I'm going to mention them. One of them from Anne Frank: "Life is a daring adventure or nothing else. Life is a daring adventure or nothing more." Another one from Fred Conrad: "Don't take life too seriously. You might never get out alive." Well, getting serious, right?
Yeah.
And another one from Freddie Conrad: "Self-deprecating humor has been the key to getting perspective when we take ourselves too seriously." So all those quotes, they have the same theme: taking ourselves too seriously, being lightheaded, and things like that. The question is, how does that apply in a workplace? How can you safely use that strategy in a workplace?
Very good question. So I'll tell a little bit more perspective from the spiritual level, right?
Mhm.
What I have experienced and learned as well. We are the traveler in the sense, this body, we are a soul, and this body we have is our traveling instrument, right? So when we born, did we have anything? Like, did we have a house? We have money? Did we have clothes, jacket? No, we didn't have anything, right? And when we born, we still were happy,
Mhm.
right? And when we eventually die, what we are going to carry? We are not going to carry anything. We will be just, we don't know the life after what, right? So we will not be have we didn't come with anything. We are not going to carry anything. We are a traveler. And I forgot the person's name. He said, we are the traveler, so don't worry, and don't freak out, right? So don't worry, don't freak out, just enjoy the journey, right? So same as workplace, it's very difficult, but I'll tell you one simple story, right? As I have learned to find the purpose in what we do right now rather than somewhere else. One day at work, it was 2014, somewhere in the May 13 or something. And then I was sitting on, I went around like 11 o'clock, and then I went to grab some water, and there was no water because the water delivery man didn't come on that day, and we have finished the water, right? So I was very thirsty. I couldn't drink the water, and then lunchtime happens. During the lunchtime, I didn't have water. I was very thirsty, and I was kind of complaining, right? Then one of my colleagues said, Kapil, drink Coke, drink Pepsi. Why don't you drink it? And unfortunately, in America, there are, I don't know how much level of Coke and Pepsi consumption is. People drink more Coke than water, but not for me. I said, it's without water, I don't feel like. But I started drinking anyway. And then after a few minutes, the delivery man come and fill the water. And then I was so thirsty, I just went quickly to that water station and fill up the water. I felt like I was thirsty for like days when I was just only thirsty for 3-4 hours, right? So then it hit me. What if that water delivery man do not deliver water ever, right? I mean, if no delivery man, water delivery man deliver the water, we will be thirsty, right? We might die. So the point is, and I don't know in your religion, but in our religion it is saying that when you give the water to the people who are thirsty, that is the noblest cause, right? It's a noblest cause. And what happens, that delivery, the water delivery man, unfortunately might not be thinking that way. So he is enjoying, he's missing that experience of purposefulness. And that's, I found that the universe had a plan to have him work is as a water delivery man, and that's why we are getting our what the thirst get quenched, right? Similarly, wherever we are, if we think little bit bigger picture outside the picture, we are basically where we are supposed to be as per the you call God or universe or whatever, right? So we have our own plan, God has master plan. So find this, find that joy, happiness in whatever we do, rather than being serious and thinking that, oh, I want to become a professional speaker, then I will be happy. I want
Yeah.
to get promoted as a manager, then I will be happy. No, once you will get there, then again your desire will be to somewhere else. Our wish are convertible. When we have a bicycle, then we want that motorbike. When we have motorbike, we want car. When we have car, we want a luxurious car, which is Ferrari, right? And
Yeah.
and it goes on. So our wishes are convertible, but we must enjoy the journey from bicycle to bike, not
Yeah.
just the destination.
Yeah.
And it many people says, but we need to learn and experience that. Enjoy where we are. Don't take yourself too seriously,
Mhm.
and just find that beautiful state as many as time and remind yourself. And then again, do your morning priming with some meditation or gratefulness exercise that will help you practically to achieve that.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. It's almost like as we go through life, the goalpost is being moved at every time. Like you
You're
scored a
right.
goal. Like the next time you're trying to score a goal, the goalpost is going to be moved to a
More,
much
more.
different place and things like that. And the way to really explain is to use the video games, right? And for people that play video games, I used to play video games a lot. When you start from the beginning, level one, right? It seems like, oh, this is difficult. When you get to level two, this is even harder. Then you see level one and say, well, that was easy, right?
Yeah.
So it's and also in a relationship, right? For people who are looking for a partner, it feels like, well, getting a partner is the hardest thing. But you get a partner, it feels like staying married is the it's even harder than that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's that's the way, I guess that's the way life is built. That's nothing
True.
we can do about it.
Yeah.
One of the things I liked about the book here is from Chi Kunad. His quote from the book says that adults cannot be trusted. Therefore, only children are trustworthy. That it's a bias. It's a bias that was later explained in the book. And as we go through life, we know there are different biases that we all have. And there's unconscious bias, there's conscious bias, and things like that. My question around that, I wonder which of the bias that you want to share with us about happiness. Have you ever encountered any bias about happiness and something that people generally believe is true, but it's not necessarily true about happiness?
If I can think about that, one of the bias or misconception is when I get more, I will be more happy. Based on my experience, and many people have experienced that as well, and probably you might have experienced that as well. Instead of getting more, when I'm giving more, that's when I get more true, lasting happiness. I might not remember when I get probably, my bike or car or house. After sometimes, after 3 months, 6 months, I might forget. But I will never forget one incident when I donated my blood. And after 2 days, that blood donation organization called me and they said, because of your donation, we were able to save 2 lives.
Hmm.
That 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 feeling, that joy has been staying with me for almost 15-20 years, and probably that might stay till I die, right? So that's the misconception, or the bias people will usually have. When I get more, I will be more happy.
Yeah.
When I will get promotion, I will be happy. Yes, you will be happy, no doubt, but that happiness lasts only for maybe 1 week, 1 day, or sometime even just 1 hour, and then you move on. But when you do something good for your spouse, your kid, for even for the strangers, people you don't know, for the society, then that happiness stays
Mhm.
forever. Similarly, at work as well, when you help some colleague without worrying that, if I teach, then I will be replaceable or someone will replace me. Instead of thinking that, when you help others and they are doing your job, now you are ready to the next level, now you are ready for the next work. And if they don't find the value, they will anyway. If you don't help others, still they will replace you if they don't find the value. As long
Mhm.
as you are adding the value for your customers, clients, you are doing more, going extra mile, happiness happens, growth happens, and true bliss happen.
Wow, thank you, thank you. That's very powerful. That's very powerful, I must say. So I like to think about life in twin. For example, you said your name is Happiness Spreader. You just mentioned somebody who is kindness spreader, and I wonder if you guys are brothers or if you guys are related, because your last name could be Spreader or something like that. In the same manner, I also think that it will be very unfair if we talk about being happy without talking about love, because it seems like love is a universal language, right? And there's one of the quotes from the book, right, that I really like, by Jenny Conrad. As my dad will say, love is like it's like lighting a match. What is challenging is keeping the fire alive, consistently bringing the wood, right? Uh, if you're married, you understand what that means. Another one from Jenny Conrad. Not only did I feel unloved, but I was convinced that love was a scam. Love is rigged, and I'm not worthy of it. That's one of the powerful quotes there. So that means that, I mean, love is something that we have to talk about when we talk about happiness. When you think about love under the context happiness, how would you measure that, and what would you recommend for people to do as regards to love if they want to stay happy?
Love is love. And in just one word, if I were to say, or two words, just love. Right? At the core, we all know, we if we remove our fear, if we remove our conditioning, which
Mhm,
either we have put it over the years of time, and then Jenny, my very good friend, she might have some of the experience, and in that experience she had put those conditioning
mhm,
during that time, and then after that she has breakthrough and realization as well. So when we remove those conditioning, we are the true source of love, who love other people unconditionally.
mhm,
We are the true source of love who accept the love unconditionally as well. So we that love is always there from the God, universe, from the people around us. And I will share a little bit on that. Tony Robbins says all human has a six human needs,
mhm.
universal human needs.
Yeah.
One of them is being have that certainty. We need certainty in our life, like we need food, shelter, basic certainty. Once we have received those, we need uncertainty.
Mhm.
Uncertainty, like, once I keep getting same food every day, I will not eat it. Once I know that I'm going to get the food,
Yeah.
so I need variety. After that, the third need is significance. We all want to feel significant, right? People do the tattoo. People will do different things to get the attention of the people, and they want to feel the significant, unique, right? Then the these are not in the order, but the fourth need is love. So these
Mhm,
are the four human need: love and connection. We want to connect with the people. We want to love with the people, right?
mhm,
Fifth need is growth. We all want to grow spiritual. This the fifth and sixth are spiritual need, right? So
mhm,
growth, and then we want to have spiritual enlightenment, right? So these are the six human needs of all of us.
mhm.
For me, before I done the unleash the power within training, my we all have a one or two are very high significant need. So my top priority need was certainty. So I need more certainty in my life compared to many other people. So I need more certainty. So very I was not ready to take risk because I don't like taking uncertainty. And then
Yes.
second one was significance. I would love to speak or different pages, places, and get the appreciation, acknowledgement, right? So those are my high needs were there. And then once I learn little bit more, that if I want to really spread joy and happiness for others, and also I want to have a beautiful state of mind, I need to little bit adjust in my needs of the priority. I need to operate with the love.
Yeah.
I need to have more loving attitude rather than worry about certainty, right? So when I am with my spouse or when I'm with my partner, instead of having those fear where I need to hold on the certainty, I bring out myself and then say, if I am a loving child, if I am loving unconditionally, what decision I would make? So
Yeah.
that is shifting. And then now instead of certainty, I am little bit more operating from the uncertainty,
Yeah.
embracing the uncertainty. So now if I'm okay with the uncertainty, then I will have less friction and fight with my son, because I
Mhm,
want certain action, certain behavior, certain attitude from him. So this is what my invitation is: understand about these six human needs. You can search Tony Robbins six human needs, and what are your two human needs currently. Usually we might have forgotten other needs when we are child. And when you said, like, when child are
mhm.
unconditional source of
Yeah.
love, you
Mhm,
love and accept the love,
mhm.
they operate from uncertainty. They are not
Yeah.
ready or worry about taking the risk. They will put the hands in the fire and jump from anywhere, right?
Mhm,
So they embrace the uncertainty and they embrace the love. They will hug you when they are very little, and then they grow, and then they stop hugging, they stop
mhm,
kissing, they
mhm,
stop saying, I love you, I care
mhm.
for you. So I would say, just like, understand your most primary human needs right now, and then
Mhm.
slowly navigate to some of the more empowering needs, which is love and embracing uncertainty.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Still on that love and this kind of thing, it's a good opportunity to learn a little bit about the Indian culture on that this context. So, how would you describe dating, committed relationship, marriage in the Indian culture?
That's a personal, difficult question to answer. You put me on the spot. I would say when it comes to marriage, see, there is always pros and cons, right?
Mhm.
So the context of the marriage in Indian and then the Western culture is little bit different. In Indian culture, I would say many marriages have been operating from the need of certainty.
Yeah.
It's a good and bad. Good is
Mhm.
good is the best part is, when there is a first problem or first fire, people
Mhm.
will not people will not say, oh, I want to divorce, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately in Western world, the first divorce rate is almost, I believe, 60% or more than 50%, which is not good for the society, for the children and anybody else. While in India, probably, like, if you look at maybe 10 years or 20 years back, almost there was no divorce, or maybe, like, 1 or 2% divorce, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good part, not having divorce, having a good bonding, not just giving up, like, one first problem or two problem, and then you said, okay, I'm done, my honeymoon
Can't
period
take
is
this more.
over, now I found the real you, and let me find another partner, right? So that's the best part about it. But then on that, the problem is certainty again. People don't want to leave marriage, even though if they are, like, really really tough or really really hard, and probably maybe they might not be not compatible. And now they are not operating with the love. Now they are operating with the fear. Now they
Mhm.
are operating with that, oh man, if
Mhm.
I lose my partner, how I'm going to manage my finances, how I'm going to face the society, right? So that's, like, not operating with the love, but operating with the fear and certainty sometimes. So that's little bit, cons as well. But the best part about is, like, when you weather the storm and difficult time, and then it says, like, you become a better person during the difficult time, you become the better human being, it builds your character. So that's best part about it. And again, it's a challenge
Mhm.
for many of the couples, identifying the difference between operating from the certainty and fear, or operating from the accepting the uncertainty and love.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that was very good. I mean, that's a good table topics right there. One of the well, we're wrapping up. Just like two questions more now. One of the things that affect happiness that I've experienced is the misconception about an individual. People looking at somebody that they don't know very well, they don't want to spend time to get to know the person, but they want to jump into conclusion about the person on the surface, like the things that you hear, chit, 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 chat, and you're like, oh yeah, this person is bad, and you just run with it. You don't want to get to know the person anymore. So the question for you is that around that, what is the misconception that you think have been directed to you as a person, and what is the misconception that you think has been directed to you as a as somebody from India?
I think it's let me tell let me share from philosophical point of view. I have not fully experienced yet, but
Hmm.
I have experienced that glimpse of it, that you, me, and every person on this planet are one.
Yeah.
There is no Dr. Toluleke and Kapil Patel or someone else. We all are one. We are part of the universe, right? When we die, we become the ashes, which is like, we all are energy in one level, or we can say we are all uh, part of the God or universe. So we
Hmm.
are all one. if we like take out the blood, then it's the same blood color for
Yeah.
you, me, white, anyone, everyone has the same color, right? And I think one of the most important thing I have realization, because I feel I'm grateful that I have that realization at early stage, is I believe even terrorists are not bad people as well,
Hmm.
right? If we look at the terrorists, they will be ready to take their own life for the some cause they believe. Maybe right cause, wrong cause, their attitude, approach, it might be different. But they are ready to give up their life for something which they strongly believe. I might not able to take my life for something which I'm so much passionate about, maybe. I don't know about you, but many
Mhm.
90-95% will not ready to give up their life, right? So that's one thing. And second thing, if I might be in their situation, if I was born in their place, in their family, in that environment, who knows, 99.99% probability that I will be one of those terrorists as well, right? So understanding that, thinking that we are one as a core level, putting ourselves in the shoes of other people. If I would have his upbringing or her upbringing or the environment or the people whom come across, then I would be the similar person. My father had four brother, so like four uncle, right, for me, so five people. Out of five, only my father studied, right? And as I born in my father's place, I am in the USA, while all other four uncles, son and daughter, they are in India. I'm not saying that it's better, but I get an opportunity. Who I am, I have a good life, good materialistic thing. I have a little bit more spiritual than I believe than many of them are. And one of the reason is my father studied, and other didn't study. What is my contribution for my father studying? None, right? There is no contribution my father studying and having that. So that's the difference, right? That whoever you have maybe challenging time with your boss or colleague or anything, thinking from those three aspects. One is being grateful wherever you are, whoever people you are you have in life. Second thing is thinking about we are the one, that boss, whoever are maybe having a tough time, they are the one. And then third thing is basically, if I would put it in their shoes, I would be the same person taking and doing the same actions and same behavior. But that doesn't mean that basically we don't give the punishment or the appropriate the things for they deserve for their actions as well, right? So they deserve for whatever the karma we do. So it's a karma. I might have done some good karma in previous life. We believe in that, whatever karma we do, we get the fruits of in this life as well as the previous or the next life as well. So good, do your good karma, say good
Mhm.
things about, and then forget and forgive.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. My last question on a very light mode. I'm very friendly with a lot of Indians like you and every other person, and I can almost call people like that friends. But once in a while, I met an Indian person that will talk to me for the first time. I will say, "Okay, my friend. Okay, my friend. Let's do it. Okay, my friend. Okay, my friend." Why, why do Indians like saying that? You meet somebody for the first time and they like calling you friend, even though they meet you for the first time. Why is that so?
That's a good point, but then I will share about my personal experience as well. Even though if I'm meeting someone stranger, I call him my friend. Right? It's again, we have a belief that we, if you have noticed, we pray or we say like namaskar, namaste.
Mhm,
So when we are doing namaskar, namaste, even though we might be meeting someone who might not be behaving good or who might be doing bad karma or bad things, still we do the namaskar, right?
mhm,
Namaskar is usually do when you pray someone. You are, so what we believe is we have we have a God within you, within me, and everyone, right? Like I told that we are the one.
Mhm.
So we have God inside of us. So we are saying thank you or praying to the God within you. We all of us as. So we are
Mhm.
praying that, right? So similar way, we are like, in India, we call it like we all are brother and sister.
Mhm.
Like we have 1 billion, more than 1 billion people, but we call it all brother sister. So similar way, we most of the people who are operating at the high level, which is higher positive energy, they will do this genuinely. Some people might have just say out of habit, but there are
Mhm.
few who will say genuinely that my friend, my
Mhm.
brother,
Mhm.
my brother from another mother.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Good, good. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. So, I've been talking to Kapil Patel, the happiness spreader. He has a book here. It's on Amazon. The co-author with a couple of people, and we're going to the last part of our podcast today.
So
Please like.
Only like, let me just share one more thing.
Uh,
Another book I have with I talk about, like, with the Brian Tracy. That one is for business mastery as well as the life mastery. When you master your life, you master your business as well. And it's from 24 authors, including the Brian Tracy, and you will get really great, amazing nuggets. And what I'm doing is 100% profit from these books goes to the donation and supporting the Feeding America. This is one of the challenging time where we need to support more. So feel free to buy this book where you are gaining your knowledge as well as your helping to the society. So my mission is helping and donating 50,000 meals in 3 years through the book selling, as well as helping 2,000 underprivileged children for their education.
wow, wow, that's a very laudable cause that you are engaging in. Thank you for sharing that. Again, our guest today, Kapil Patel. Please like, comment, and if you want to be a guest on this, there's going to be a form in the comment section for you to fill out to be a guest on our podcast. Kapil Patel, the happiness spreader. Would you like to say something as we end the session today to the guest?
We all have happiness within when we remove the fear and conditioning. I want you to find that pure joy. My friend Sabrina says that is bliss or joy for yourself, your family, and keep spreading happiness, keep spreading kindness. Thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Kapil Patel. And this is the point we end our session on Solution Eliminator Series podcast, the 39th episode on happiness. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.